The Knicks have their man, Julius Randle, agreeing to a 3-year, $63 million deal with the New York Knicks, reportedly. And reportedly, the final season of that deal is a team option. Spent 1 year in New Orleans, averaged 21 a game last season, pulled down nearly 9 rebounds as well. It's easy to poke fun at the Knicks. This is a rough day to be a Knicks fan.
Look, Julius Randle go, look. He's a good player.
He's a good player.
And he's going to, look, on a bad team like the Knicks going to be, he's going to put up numbers. He's going to put up 22 to 25 points a game.
21 last season.
Yeah, he's going to score. But, Tom, I don't think this what the Knicks cleared all that cap space for and traded Porzingis. I don't think they did all that for their number one free agent signing to be Julius Randle. You think?
You don't think that was plan A on the board?
No, I don't think so.
The problem with this is the second year on the deal, the second guaranteed year, because it takes away $21+ million in cap space that they could have next year. Because one of these years they might get it if they can get something exciting enough to go play with. But nobody's going to be excited about a core where your best player is Julius Randle. Right. Now, R.J. Barrett, maybe he pops.
Sure.
Maybe these young guys pop. But you also got to now think about veterans that would complement the young players. Yes. They just went and got J.J. Redick down in New Orleans to just sort of put some structure around this with Zion and that youth. New York's got to do something like that as well because they have none of this.
Tell me this, is the reason for them structuring the contract the way we're hearing it structured right now, that after a year, watching Barrett go through his rookie season, that they would have teams to take the contract away from New York? Would that make sense?
Maybe.
You know what I mean? With
1 year left on the deal, you may have somebody say, I'll take it for a year.
I'm wondering, would they take the 1 year?
Okay. Yeah, maybe, but still, it's like.
Am I reaching?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're trying to help him.
Reach away.
Coach was in New Jersey for a long time. He's trying to help him.
And by the way, the Knicks have a bunch of cap room left, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they can
do this 2 or 3 more times.
And there's still some very good players on the board. They're not Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving,
but Tom, are there difference makers? Are there guys that's
they're not in the difference maker conversation.
The difference makers are going right now.
Yeah. No, that's true. I'm trying to soften the blow.
If they don't sign him, Barrett's their best player on the team.
Well, they got to sign somebody. They got to spend.
They got to fill out the roster,
$98 million somehow.
Matt, I'm going to tell you this. You know, if you fall from 100 feet, whether you fall on concrete or water, it's going to still feel the same.
Hurts either way.
That's right.
I don't want to try it either way. Tom and I are leaving. Casey Stern, Wes Wilcox are coming in. This half of the desk will remain the same. Free Agent Fever,
Coach,
presented by AT&T, continues on here. Sam and I are hoping we'll see Zion on Monday in Las Vegas.
Griff, make it happen. Remember your days at NBA TV. Make it happen,
That's
Griff.
right. Kevin Durant to Brooklyn. Free Agent Fever continues after this.
Well, I was surprised. I was very surprised that Kevin went to Brooklyn. Obviously, he's not going to play next year more than likely. But, you know, some of these teams, in my opinion, getting what they deserved. You know, all these teams put all their money, they stunk up the joint trying to get all this free agent cash, and they're not going to get anybody. Instead of doing their job like Masai Ujiri, who drafted good players and things like that, actually did their job. Imagine that. Then try to poach other players, superstars. I think some of these teams are getting what they deserve. But, hey, KD going to Brooklyn, that's obviously a power ship. It weakens the Warriors. But like I heard you guys talking, it's going to be a year. What they going to do with Kyrie? Because you both had a great argument. They can't just relax and take it easy for a year. But I think that's why they bought in DeAndre. They got some good young players.
In terms of the move from the Warriors, where he won a couple of championships, he was Finals MVP a couple of times. He's got a bunch of business interests in the Bay Area. I hate to play psychologist here, but can you, from the perspective of a great player, kind of put yourself in his head and what might motivate Kevin Durant to leave what seemed like an ideal situation and go to an unproven one in Brooklyn across the country?
It had to be that he was unhappy with some circumstances around the team. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, 100%. He must not have been happy in that situation. You know, there's always been that tension, quote unquote, between him and Draymond. I think, like I say, I think he should have played in that game when he blew out his Achilles. I mean, that might, I don't know. I'm just obviously guessing. But clearly he was unhappy because it was a great situation he was in. So when guys leave a great situation, they must not be happy there, plain and simple.
And he left nearly $80 million in guaranteed money on the table by not taking that fifth year.
I hate when you guys keep saying that because that's absolutely not true.
Well, it is true. You're going to get some of that back in the fifth year, but
of course you're going to get it back.
It's not guaranteed, though. He's coming off a major injury.
Listen. All these guys, I hear these guys. Well, these guys leaving money on the table. No, they're not. They're going to sign another deal.
He'll probably sign another deal. I get your point there. I'm just saying, coming off a major injury, you're talking about guaranteed money.
Yeah, but like I say, he clearly wasn't happy there.
Yeah.
Listen, listen, how much money do you think Kevin Durant gonna make in New York City?
Plenty.
He gonna make plenty of money.
A lot.
Hey, listen, don't forget he's making $30, $40 million from Nike. So let's don't act like when these guys leaving money on the table. You notice that the only guys who leave money on the table who got like a $200-300 million deal
yes.
with a shoe company or going to make more money in endorsements. So I always laugh when I hear these guys, well, he just sacrificed some money. No, he did, and let's be real.
Well, he did leave some on the table. I get your point. He's not going to be hurting. No one's saying that.
But when he signed his next deal, they'll make it up to him.
Yeah. In terms of basketball, 2 years from now, we don't know if Kawhi Leonard's going to be in the Eastern Conference at that point, but how good a team is Brooklyn on paper with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant in the context of the Eastern Conference?
Well, you can't even answer that question because you don't know what Boston's going to do. Danny getting Kemba Walker is a great pickup, but also you don't know what Philly is going to do with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid and whoever they sign. I don't think you can just pencil Brooklyn in as the favorite. I mean, think about it. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons aren't going anywhere. So depending on what Elton does with trades and things like that, Philly could be the best team in the East. And you got to give Brad and Danny some credit. Getting Kemba Walker to me is an upgrade. One minute they didn't have a point guard. Now they got Kemba Walker, who's an all-star. But like I say, you're just guessing in 2 years what it's going to be. Because like I say, in the main thing, we don't know how Kevin's going to come back.
Hey, Charles, it's Tom Penn. As a former superstar, how do you feel when you see these dollar amounts thrown out? When you see Damian Lillard at $258 million guaranteed over the 6 years, and I know you've gone through this evolution with players, but how does that react in your gut? How do you feel when you see these big numbers?
Tom, we listen. Number one, I'm happy for all the players to make as much as possible because these guys, they're talented, they're terrific, and the NBA, we generate gazillion dollars, TV and things like that. But I will tell you this: I was talking to Larry Bird the other night at the NBA's award show, and we were talking about. I'm so old, Tom. I remember the first time a guy made $1 million. We were going around the locker room high-fiving each other. Because remember when Magic first signed $1 million a year for 25 years? Me and Dr. J and Mose and all the guys were going around the locker room because we could not believe that an NBA player made $1 million. And now you see guys turning down $30 million to opt out. And I'm like, ooh, you turned down $30 million, and then you see they're going to get $40 million. It's amazing. Bless these young guys.
Chuck, Sam Mitchell here. I remember that because I almost lost my mind. We couldn't believe that Magic was going to make $1 million a year, like you said. But my question to you is, Kevin Durant, he can be a little sensitive at times, and the New York media is tough. How do you think he's going to handle dealing with the media in New York? Because now all of a sudden he goes from being one of 4 All-Stars to being one of 2, he and Kyrie. So, and you can arguably say that once he comes back, he's going to be the face of that Brooklyn franchise. How do you think he's going to handle the New York media?
Well, I think it's going to be difficult. I've already been on the record. I think him and Kyrie are both interesting in New York City because I don't know if either one of them mentally can handle the abuse. Because, clearly, because now we're looking at a 2 to 3 year plan. Because, obviously next year they're going to be all right. And then when Kevin come back, they're going to expect to win the championship. And, that normally it takes them a year when guys have the Achilles injury to come back to being full trade. So now we're looking at 3 years. And, you know, those people in New York are not going to be patient. They're not going to be patient at all. So I think it's going to be difficult. I don't think it's going to be as easy as they make it out to be.
Hey, Chuck, it's Mike Fratello. First of
Hey,
all,